All right, let's take a look at 015A, forces in motion. So I thought it might be helpful to make a quick little video to kind of show you some of the things that I want you to think about and do. And the first thing when you have ever you have a lab sheet is you always want to make sure that you put your name, you put your date and period, especially in high school, is going to relate more to the section that you're in, so homeroom for that case. Now, you read the first thing, okay, to set up what you're doing. So it says you and some friends are at Hamilton Park. You find some rope and decide you'd like to play a game of tug of war. Unfortunately, there are 5 people, so you can't have an equal amount of people on each side. One of your friends suggests that the 2 biggest people should be on one side, while the 3 smaller people should be on the other side. Do you think this is a fair way to split up the teams? Why or why not? Alright, so here you're going to type in green and put your answer. And this, turn to your partner and ask them to explain why they think it's fair or why it's not fair. And you want to do your best to try to explain it. By the end of this lab, you will be able to explain it scientifically, but it's a good way to kind of start and think about it. The second thing is right here, what causes objects to move or stay still? So for this one, again, this is kind of like background knowledge. What do you think? It's almost like a pre-DOL. Just go ahead and type, what you and your partner think makes objects move or stay still. Try to be scientific with your wording if you can. All right, after that, what you're going to do is down here you have the directions to open up the PhET simulation forces in motion and click net force. So you click this, there's your link, and it loads up the PhET simulation, and you click net force. Okay, so now we have to go back to our directions. Okay, so the next thing it says task 1, place 2 people that are the same size, the same distance away from the cart. All right, and let me just show you real quick. You have A, B, C, D, okay? In your graph here, this is for task 1. This is where task A is going to be. So in this case, they're showing you that it's going to be the same size, same placement on the rope for the 2 people, and you're going to do that. So let's go ahead and kind of model that and see what that would look like. Oh, that's not the right one. There we go. All right, so let's say we're going to pick 2 little guys. We got 2 shorties. All right, we're going to put them right there. So you see they're on the same knot on each side, the same distance. So you got the force here that's pushing left, and you got the force here that's pushing right. So it should be kind of even. Let's see what happens. Actually, no. See, I'm getting ahead of myself. You go back to the directions. All right, so it says B, make a prediction about the movement of the cart. So down here you're going to type, whatever you think it is. You're going to say cart moves right, or whatever, okay? So again, you're going to type whatever you think is going to happen. And then in C, type in the box what actually happened. It moved left, right, or no movement. Okay, so that goes here. D, sum of forces. From math, sum means after it's been actually, added up. Okay, so after you've observed the actual movement, click on the sum of forces box at the top right, and then record the numbers. So when you're on the lab, sum of forces is right here. So in this case, I guess that gave away the first one. That's going to be a 0, okay? Because when I click go, both the shorties are going to pull. As you probably know, it ends up nothing happens. The cart stays exactly the same. Okay, so you're going to type your answers for all 3 here, and then you go down, now you have task 2. So as you can see, it's not difficult. You just have to go step by step, A, B, C, D. Go ahead and do the same thing for task 2, and look at the picture. It's there to help you get an idea how to do it. Task 3, same thing. Task 4, okay, same thing, right? Now, once you do all of these tasks, you should be able to move down to question 3 through 10, okay? And this is where you want to use whatever evidence you gleaned, whatever you noticed from the different simulation tasks to answer it. So question 3, what causes objects to move or stay still? You can go ahead and start to answer that, but you want to use this claim here. So complete the claim, okay? And the claim, of course, from other classes like language arts, it just means like what's your argument going to be about, what's your thesis going to be. So in this case, you could start out by saying objects are caused to move or stay still by what? By ice cream, SpongeBob, that sort of thing. Okay, but you have to explain it and try to think about, for number 5, evidence. Explain what happened above. So this is where you could kind of show, when this and this person and size were put on this distance from the center cart, and then when there was a smaller one, this type of thing happened. So it's just a way of kind of proving it. Like, let's just pretend somebody lived in a cave all their life and they had never seen any tug of war or anything. You're just going to say, well, when this big guy was put there and this little guy was put there, the movement did, whatever, okay? For number 6, give an example of a balanced force. Okay, by this point, you should be able to explain when a balanced force is happening and then what it is. So how big are the guys? how many of them are there on each side, that kind of deal. Same thing for an unbalanced force. Okay, so think of an example from one of the simulation tasks you did to say what it was that made it unbalanced. All right, true or false here. For both 8 and 9, you can say true or false, but you also want to explain how do you know this, and that's where you want to use some of your evidence from your sim above to explain, what proves that that is true or that is false, okay? Now for number 10, this is kind of like an extra credit deal here. What questions or investigations do you have after using the simulation? So this will be for some extra credit if you want to go ahead and explain, like, I'm curious what would happen if they pulled in this type of different way or whatever. Okay, so that's that.